Good morning, everyone. My name is Trent, and I'm currently living out of the back of my van while I'm in the process of converting my other van into an ultimate off-roading gaming camper van. And in today's episode of the build series, we are making a lot of progress on the build that I am so excited for you guys to see. But before we get into any of the building of this video, I wanted to show you guys a 3D design that we made of the van to give you guys a good idea of what this van is going to look like when we're finally finished with it. But of course, today's video wouldn't be possible without my sponsor, ROG. They have literally been sponsoring my channel for years at this point, and when I told them that I was building out another gaming camper van, they were immediately on board, and they sent me so much gear to implement into the gaming area of the van. And I'll dive more into what all they sent me as the video goes on, but spoiler alert, I'm actually building an entire gaming PC into the new van build, and it's gonna be so sick. And they sent me all the gear for that PC, including the ROG Astral gaming graphics card, which is the GeForce RTX 5080. The design of this card is literally going to be perfect for this build because it's got a quad fan setup, which boosts the airflow and the pressure by up to 20%, along with a patented vapor chamber with milled heat spreader and a phase change GPU thermal pad, which is all going to help reduce the GPU temperature and make it perform better and overall increase its reliability. And if you guys want to learn more about this card, I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video, or go to rog.gg/Trent5080. But I know you guys are probably wondering why I chose a 5080 over a 5090. And again, we'll talk more about that once we get to the PC build portion of this video. But for now, I'm gonna dive into this 3D model of the van build because I think it looks really cool, and I think it's gonna make you guys really excited to watch the rest of the video. So let's dive on in. All right, so when I got this crazy idea to build out an entirely new van, I got together with my brother to sort of plan out the most optimal, practical build inside of a Sprinter van. And as you guys know, the reason I chose a Sprinter van was because it gave me the ability to have four-wheel drive, which this van does not, which is gonna allow me to camp in way more remote places I've never been before. However, the sacrifice of going with a four-wheel drive vehicle like a Sprinter van is the fact that I am losing a lot of space in the Sprinter. As you guys have probably seen, it's a lot more narrower than this. So when it came to designing the layout in this van, it's been a little bit difficult for us, but I think what we came up with is pretty freaking cool, and I'm honestly surprised with how much we're able to fit inside this van. So scooch on in, let me give you guys a close-up of what we've been working on. All right, so here we are in a program called SketchUp. This is a program that you guys could download yourself, but it's great for designing and laying out things before you actually go to build them. We've got the van sitting in this beautiful mountain landscape. There's a UFO off in the distance. I got a cozy campfire here, and if you zoom in real close, check it out. We got Millie hanging out by the fire. So we're just gonna zoom in here. Right away, you can tell that something's a little different with the desk, and this is the part that I'm most excited about. As you walk into the sliding door, you're gonna be greeted with an entire gaming PC that's built into the desk. And originally, we were going to build a custom housing for the PC, but we decided instead to build this PC inside of the Height Y70 Touch Infinite, which is this really cool case with this display on the side. It's gonna look super sick with all the fans and the RGB lights right on the side of the desk as you walk in. And as we get a good profile look of the gaming area of the van, you can tell that yes, I am going to have dual monitors in this van, finally! And then directly to the right of the desk, we've got the stairwell that we've designed for Millie to be able to climb up on the bed with ease, because as you guys know, Millie is actually getting kind of old and her joints aren't as strong as they used to be. And I want to make sure that she stays nice and healthy and doesn't hurt anything jumping on and off of the bed. So we decided to build this little stairwell here for her to climb up and down. And these stairs are actually going to double as storage. But ultimately, as you guys can tell, not much is really changing with this van build. And I didn't want to change too much because the design of this van right here is, in my opinion, the best design for a single dude who loves the game that lives in a van. It's just so practical. So I didn't want to change too much there. However, people constantly are asking me if I could make one change in this van, what would it be? And my friends, the biggest change that I have been wanting to make since I've been gaming out of a van is having the ability to go from a sitting desk to a standing desk. And that's exactly what we're gonna be doing in this van. This countertop right here will be mounted on actuators that are built into the desk that will allow the desk to raise up so I can stand and game and edit, work, whatever. I'm a little nervous though, because as you guys can tell, the Sprinter van walls are curved quite a bit. And when you have a desk that's straight, raising straight up on a curved wall, it doesn't really work. But we've got some unique ideas to make this work, and I'm excited to see us execute that. Now, real quick though, I just want to say that if you guys are wanting to build out your own van but don't know where to start, especially when it comes to designing, and you want to just kind of replicate what we've done in this van, I'm excited to announce that we're actually going to be making this file available to all of you guys on my Patreon. Meaning if you are a supporter over on my Patreon, you can download this file, look at the exact measurements of my desk, my kitchen, my bed, and completely replicate my entire build in your van. But anyway, guys, I'm really excited to start on this gaming desk area of the van build. So without further ado, let's get to building.
Oh, hey, Millie.
What are you doing in there, Millie? You think we're going on a ride?
Yeah, please. Can we go?
Oh my gosh.
That would be cool.
You're so cute. Come on, let's go. Well, good morning, everyone. Today is the day that I have been waiting for this entire van build series. It is finally the day where we are building out the gaming area of this van. Brandon, at his work, cut all of the panels for the desk, and we're just gonna roughly assemble it, make sure everything fits, and then give this stuff a good stain, paint a few panels, and then start putting it into the van. So as I said earlier, Brandon actually pre-cut all of the panels that are gonna make up my gaming desk, and he used something called a CNC machine at his work to precisely cut all this stuff. So in theory, if his measurements were correct, everything should fit together kind of like Legos, right?
Hopefully. Yeah, that's like the downside of using a program machine, is because you never know when you're wrong until you put it all together.
Yeah, so. And like one little measurement can like throw the whole thing off. Yeah. We're hoping that's not gonna be the case though.
Yeah, because it's not like it's fitting in, precisely somewhere. Right. We have some wiggle room.
Right.
So.
Dang, this looks sick, dude. Oh, I love this logo on the back wall. The benefit of using a CNC machine, you can cut out like cool shapes like this into wood because it's so precise. So Brandon had this really cool idea to be able to better ventilate the PC that's going to be right here that's surrounded by all the cabinetry. He cut out my logo into this back panel so all the hot air can escape this way. And it looks so cool. Oh shoot, it's coming together.
So I can still come over this way a bit.
Dang, dude. This is looking sweet. Dang, look at that. So the PC is gonna sit right on top of this area, and with the CNC machine, Brandon notched out all of these little grooves for all the ventilation, both on the sidewall, the bottom of the PC, and the back. So we're really hoping that keeps the PC from overheating because it is gonna be surrounded by a bunch of wood. Having these little holes for airflow is pretty crucial, especially for this big PC. It's gonna run pretty hot.
Yeah, I think that's plenty of ventilation.
I agree. I'm also thinking about putting some fans on the side of the wall.
Yeah,
to
we
better circulate.
Totally could. And you're gonna have ventilation this way too.
Right.
You know, because this isn't even gonna be covered.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, let me notch this piece out, fit the flush, and then we can put the PC case in there and really see what it looks like.
Yes. So while he works on that, I am going to take all these shiplap boards, pull them off to the side, and start staining these. These will be the walls of my van. And before the desk really goes in, we've got to put these walls up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. They're gonna need some time to cure and dry. So hopefully by the end of the day, these will be ready to put in.
Driving till the sunrise, wishing we could freeze time. No better place for us to go.
Okay, so I've applied pre-stain to all of the shiplap boards so that the stain goes on much more evenly. And the stain that I'm using is the same stain that I used in my old van, which is Provincial. I love the way this stuff looks on pine wood. So I'm gonna use the same type of stain in the new van.
You and me under stars, flying faster than a comet. Ain't no way to stop. Grab the keys, start the car. Got my heart in full throttle, lightning in a bottle. You don't want the feeling I have, baby. Don't be scared, I'm never leaving alone. No, I don't care where we are. It don't matter when you're up or running. Shotgun.
All right, check it out. We got the desk fully installed and we have the standing desk mechanism set up. So I'm gonna power it on, show you guys how this works. I got a few height presets that I can use here. I'm just gonna make it go all the way to the top. And it just raises up on its own. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how well this is turning out. Brennan is doing such a good job. But now that the desk is fully installed, it's time to start working on the countertop, which Brennan is gonna start cutting. But let me show you guys what we're doing for that, because we're actually doing something different than the last van. This here is what we'll be using for the countertop on the desk. It's this really durable, almost marble-like piece of material from Thinscape, and this is gonna hold up so much better than the butcher block, which is what I have in my current van. That stuff is so soft. Just the slightest bit of pressure on that stuff will leave a scuff mark, a scratch, and the UV rays from the sun have really cooked it, and it's just got a lot of sun damage on it. So since this is going on my desk and my sliding door is gonna be open quite a bit, the sun is gonna be beating down on it, I wanted to get something a little more robust, a little more heavy duty, and this stuff is gonna hold up so much better. Finally, the moment that I've been waiting on for weeks at this point. It is finally time to build the gaming PC. Now that the desk is finally in the van, Brandon is gonna continue working on tidying up that area. So I am gonna work on building out this PC. And as I said, ROG is sponsoring this entire build. They sent me all of these parts, which I am forever grateful for. However, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is actually the second PC that I've ever built myself. So I reached out to Zach's Tech Turf here on YouTube. He is an incredibly knowledgeable person about building gaming PCs. He does it for a living, and he gave me a few pointers. He actually assembled this entire parts list for me. So huge shout out to him. Go check out his channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And if you want the full parts list of this entire gaming PC build, I'll also have that in the description below. So without further ado, it's time to start assembling this thing. Okay, finally, the PC is put together. That took way longer than I expected, but here we are. The full PC has been assembled and this thing looks sick. I cannot wait to turn this thing on. With all the RGB lights that we have incorporated into this build, I think it's gonna look so freaking cool, especially with this little display that's on the side of the PC case. So I've got my monitor out, I've got everything hooked up, my mouse and keyboard, and now what's left to do is to see if it actually powers on. I'm not gonna lie, considering this is my second PC I've ever built, I'm a little bit nervous. Part of me feels like I did something wrong, but I don't know. We'll just have to find out. And I've also got this entire setup plugged up to this little watt meter here, so I'll be able to see exactly how much power this whole system is pulling, which I'm also a little nervous about. This is a pretty beefy PC, especially for a camper van build out. This might be a little overkill, but I don't care. But I am curious to see how much power it pulls. Now I will say I was a little conscious with how much power this thing is gonna pull. I decided to choose a 5080 graphics card as opposed to a 5090 because the 5090 pulls significantly more power than the 5080. And plus the 5080 is enough for what I do, which is just edit and play like 20-year-old games. So this is gonna pull a lot of power, but not as much as it could pull. But anyway, without further ado, I think it's finally time to turn this thing on. So I'm gonna power on this PSU. I've got a green light back here. That's a good sign. The display is on. I believe this is the power button on this case. Moment of truth. Here we go. All the lights are on. Fans are moving. Oh my gosh, this looks incredible. Now the real question is it gonna send a signal to the display, which I have not seen yet. No signal, that's not good. No signal still? That's not good. Millie, we're trying to make a movie here. Dang, girl, save some for the fishes. All right, we're gonna try and change out one of these cables. Maybe that's the issue here. I'm hoping it is. No signal. I mean, even this isn't turning on. Okay, it's been a day or two. Turns out we may have had both the wrong RAM and those RAM sticks may have also been bad. So I got some new ones, replaced them. We also reseated the GPU. So we're hoping that it actually turns on and sends a signal this time. But we'll see. So moment of truth. Okay, the PSU's on. Now it's time to power it on. Please work. Also, check it out. The RAM that we were supposed to have was RGB. The previous RAM that we had in was not RGB, but now it is because we got new RAM sticks. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That looks really cool. However, there's still nothing happening on the screen. We're using DisplayPort. This is quite the predicament here. What could it be? OD? 06?
That's a D.
Oh, dang. It ain't working.
Oh, the light went off. Oh,
That's a different light. I feel like that's not good. Wait.
it goes.
Oh, shoot. Let's go. We're booting up. Please enter setup to recover BIOS. Okay, so now that we're in the BIOS screen, I am gonna load my thumb drive with Windows on it and try to install Windows and see if it fully boots up. Boom. Let's go. Installing Windows. Whew. All right, we've gotten to the point where I need to name this device. Do you have any ideas? The headache.
I was leaning towards something like that.
The absolute nightmare of a build. Ooh, nightmare.
I like that.
Dang, that's cool. Let's do that. Nightmare. Okay, so after fiddling with this PC for way too long, we finally got it up and running. Everything's working, as you can tell. I got all the RGBs looking cool and pretty. I decided to go with all red colors because, you know, ROG just makes sense. It's their color, so it's my color here in this PC. And I'll be honest, this PC is living up to its name so far, the nightmare. We could not get this side display to work at all. It would not send the signal. The touch would work. It showed that it had power, but it just wouldn't accept signal. So what we ended up having to do was completely bypass the mini display cable that comes out of it all the way to the back that then connects to the GPU with a totally separate cable, but it's up, it's working, finally, and this thing looks so freaking cool. And if I look at my watt meter here to see how much this PC is pulling power-wise, it's ranging from about 160 to 190 watts while sitting idle, which is quite a bit, but as you guys know, my gaming van is gonna be able to power this thing no problem. My electrical setup is so beefy, and I'm hoping to put 1,000 watts of solar panels on top of the roof, so powering this thing will be no issue. Now, I am very curious to see how much this is gonna pull power-wise when I go to start gaming, but we'll probably test that out later in the video. But now that everything's working, I think it's time to start tearing this down, heading back outside and see how Brandon's doing on the van build, and then hopefully we'll be able to put this thing into the desk and start gaming. How's it going, guys?
It's going.
Dang, you got the floor and everything already installed?
Yes, sir.
Holy crap, this looks awesome. Wow. Dang, the stairs came out so good.
Yeah, I'm loving them, dude.
This compartment is awesome. Wow, that's way deeper than I expected.
Yeah, really trying to utilize all that space.
Yeah, the trim looks really nice. Dang, dude, you are killing it.
Thanks,
You
man.
have done so much work.
Yeah, y'all been hanging out in the AC while I've been slaving away out here.
Yeah, it's hot. Millie, get up on the stairs. Go, try them out. See if they work. Get up. Good girl.
Good
Yay.
job.
You did it.
Those are for you.
I think next up on the list before we throw this PC in here is to put up the monitor setup, see how that looks, see how it works. And then once that's done, we can throw in the computer and then start gaming. Hopefully.
We'll see.
Oh my gosh. It's actually way thinner than I was expecting. Dude, this is a massive monitor. Look at how thin this is. That is a thin monitor for the size of this. Which, by the way, this is a 49-inch ultra curved monitor from ROG. It's the ROG Swift OLED. And the idea with this is, long story short, having a dual monitor setup in this van with a raising desk has been kind of complicated. So the alternative is to have one really massive monitor on one arm that raises up. But I think it's gonna be really cool if it works out. All right, there it is, installed. I'll raise the monitor up to here.
Dang, it looks sick.
This looks incredible.
Wow.
This is a freaking cool gaming desk.
Yeah.
Now, I've just set this PC onto the desk, but eventually we are gonna bolt it to the desk so it doesn't move around while we're driving. However, we're gonna wait until the very last day of the build because we don't wanna be hauling in wood and stuff around this gaming PC since it's glass. We don't wanna break anything. So just for now, it's gonna sit here and then on the last day we'll bolt it in. But I think now we're gonna tidy up a few things around the desk, make it look nice, and then we'll do the big reveal later tonight. I'm excited. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. The ultimate Vanlife gaming setup. We somehow brought this crazy vision of building out a full-size gaming PC into a desk that is then built into a camper van. And I could not be more stoked and more proud of the end result. This looks awesome and feels awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous about this setup because, as I said earlier, the Sprinter van is very narrow. So fitting a full-size kitchen in this van along with a full-size gaming setup in this van felt a little impossible to me. But with me and my brother's powers combined, we somehow ended up making it work. And this is freaking awesome. Not only do I have this insane gaming PC that's built into the desk, but I've got this massive ultra wide monitor that makes me feel like I'm literally in the game. Like I've never had a monitor this big in my entire life, and I'm playing Classic WoW on it, and I feel like I'm in Azeroth walking around. There's a bee in here. And pairing that with all of these really comfy peripherals that I've got, the ROG sent me, along with the ROG Destrier gaming chair, I could literally sit at this gaming setup all day long and play. There's no reason for me to get up. However, if I do want to stand up, I actually have that option. And boom. We got a standing gaming desk inside of a van. This is the gaming setup that I have been dreaming of since the day I started gaming, and I'm so excited to take this on the road. The fact that I can just game with a setup like this anywhere, anytime, because it's built into a camper van is like the coolest thing. However, I will say that this setup isn't fully complete. We've got a few other things that we need to do to like make it 100% complete. There's some tidying up we got to do under the desk. I got to install an outlet down here. But just to see it all up and running and working properly, and the fact that it feels good to sit here and it doesn't feel awkward, I don't feel constricted, like I can move in and out of the desk without bumping into things. Like that's ultimately what I was trying to figure out when setting this all up. And seeing it all work just feels so good. This build is finally coming together, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. It's taken quite some time to get to this point, but nothing good ever comes easy in life. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and that is a lesson I am learning along this build. Now, before I fully close out on this video, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is how much is this insane PC pulling power-wise? Now, again, this isn't something that I was too worried about when building out this PC because my off-grid solar electrical system in this van is quite insane. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you go watch it here, where I build out the entire electrical system in this van. It's a pretty cool video. But anyway, let's take a look at my little wattage meter down here, which I have both my gaming tower and the monitor plugged into. And this is reading currently with me playing WoW, which is not a very demanding game. We are pulling about 570 watts, which is a lot of power. And I can only assume whenever I boot up something like Call of Duty, something with a much more higher graphical demand, that power draw is gonna be significantly higher. But there you have it, guys. This is the ultimate Vanlife gaming setup. Again, I cannot believe we completed this thing. It turned out way better than I ever expected. And now I'm even more excited to finish the rest of the van. Huge shout out to ROG for sponsoring this episode and providing me with all of this insane gear for this build series. Again, I'll have links to all of the PC parts, all my peripherals, this monitor, everything I used in this video in the description below. Go check it out. And again, huge shout out to Zach from Zach's Tech Turf. He helped me assemble this gaming PC. If you're looking to build out a PC yourself, I'll have his link to his channel down below as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. But now it's time to work on episode 5. See you next time.